Hey there friends, it was just recent someone left a comment here on the channel saying, you know, you don't review any DeWalt items, and little did they know that I had these two items right here waiting to be reviewed by DeWalt. So these two items right here can be very handy for you. They're focused on the automotive and the battery specific, but let me show you what I'm talking about so that way you can see if these are right for you. All right, we'll start off with the easy one right here. This is something that I think most people are familiar with. This is a battery jump starter, and you can find these made by several different brands. This one by DeWalt right here, it's rated at 1400 amps. It has a compressor in it, 120 PSI, and then it has a USB 3.1 amp. So right now I have this hooked up to my vehicle. Now the only so that beep right there is something that you're gonna have to live with. That's really the only complaint that I have with this. It's very loud. So every time you touch a button on here, you're gonna hear that beep. I did find a video online, somebody showed how they could disconnect it, but that's really not worth it. That's not worth it. I don't recommend it. So these are often just used to help you in those situations when you really need it. So having that beep once in a while, I think you can manage. So let's just shut it off a minute. We're gonna disconnect this. So what I like about this, it winds up really nice for storage. Let me set that right there a minute. This clips right there. So this is really nice and neat, tucked away, everything. So when you need it, you don't have a mess of cords. So this has, on the back right here, here's the compressor. So to charge it, you bring your own drop cord, your own extension cord, and then you plug that into here. That's how you charge it. So you have these two lights right here, which I think is really important because let's say you have a dead battery at night, which I don't know if you ever tried jump starting a car at night. I've done that, and it's nice to have a flashlight. That way you don't have to get your iPhone out or something like that. So right now the sun just set, so we'll be able to see the light. So see when you push that, you have this nice, these twin LED lights right there. Nice and bright, you can see what you're doing. Or if you have a flat tire, you need to pump your tire up a little bit, you need to see what you're doing. It's very important to have good lighting, because a lot of times when the tires go low, it's in the winter time when it starts getting dark around 5 o'clock, and when it's cold, that's when you have those tire issues. That's where having lights like this comes in handy. So around here in Michigan in December, you often leave for work when it's dark out, and when you come home, it's often dark. That's just the frustrating time of the year. So to run the compressor, it's very easy. You can set your air pressure. So if you want to set it to 35, you can do that. And then when you push the air, that's what the compressor sounds like. So this is great for like bikes, cars, things like that, all around for your house. So if you're taking a trip, I highly recommend this. And then in a second, I'll show you why I gave this to my son Sawyer to keep in his car as he's gone off to college for the first year. Right here we have a couple of USBs, so they're the A's, so you have to have an adapter. It would be nice, I guess, if they were to upgrade this to have a C, because that's, you're finding more cords that have the C adapter. So you can test your alternator. The hose isn't too long, so it just fits in there. It's a little snug, but it will fit. Just keeps everything, like I said, nice and neat and tidy. So you might be wondering how this works for jump starting a vehicle. Well, you're in luck. We happen to have the old family van right here. We're not actually driving it at the moment. We might be using it this winter for a month or two because this really does well in snow. It has nice tires on it, but it's been sitting for probably 3 or 4 months now. I just try to drive it maybe once every couple weeks, but it's been at least a month since I started it and the battery's dead. So let's try this out. All right, so the first thing we want to do is make sure that this is in the off position and then you fully charged it. And we're gonna disconnect both these cables. Just gonna get them all the way undone. So we're gonna hook the positive right here. Make sure it's nice and solid. And then the negative, we need to find some type of steel to hook this onto. Oh, yeah, right there. So right now, if you look real close, you'll see that it has the connectors right there. And then it also is showing the engine flashing. So I think that means that it's ready to start. So we just turn that to on and then go inside and try starting it. All right, ready? There's the on. Let's give it a try. Now we switch it to off. All right, so now we're gonna disconnect the negative first and then the positive. And after jump starting it, it's a good idea to top this off right here with a extension cord. So if you want to test the alternator, there's a button right there. So they recommend that you have a fully charged battery and have it running while you test that. Right now, we're gonna have to top this battery off, but right next to me here, we have the daily vehicle that I drive. So we'll see how this alternator test works on that. All right, so right now we're gonna do the alternator test. You can see, same as before, that it's clamped properly. I had the positive to the battery and the negative to grounded on the body of the vehicle, some steel. And now we're gonna run this and then hit the alternator test. So the owner's manual says to shut off all your vehicle accessories so you're not drawing any extra power like your lights or any defrost, radio, things like that, air conditioning, all that has to be shut off. Now we're gonna hit the button right here. And it says the alternator is good. Liking that. So the other item we have right here by DeWalt, this is the Automotive battery maintainer. So it's a 20 volt max, 5 amp hour battery, and this will keep your car battery fully charged for up to 3 weeks. So here's a close look at the entire setup. It comes with the 20 volt, 5 amp hour battery right here, and it's neatly organized. That's what I like about this. So you can just see that clips into there, and then you can unwind it, and this right here connects into your OBD2 connection port in your vehicle. And the battery has been on the charger, so it's fully charged, ready to go. And I'll show you how I connect this to it in a second. This could be really handy, like when you're storing your car at an airport or something like that. You want to make sure when you go to use it that you're good to go. So one of the things I recommend doing is checking your owner's manual to make sure that this will work for that. I did post a YouTube Shorts video and somebody said that they were a little bit concerned making sure that this will be safe in all vehicles. So that's just something I think you should check your owner's manual, but it looks like it's a 1 amp maintainer. So I think that's pretty low voltage. And this will also, if you're disconnecting your battery, this is a memory saver. So sometimes if you've ever replace the battery in your vehicle and you have all these settings, it will then, you'll have to start over and reprogram things like your radio. This will be a nice way to plug it in and not have to do that. So now I'm guessing you're saying that, yeah, that's cool that this works to maintain your battery or to also keep your memory saved. So instead of just telling you about it, we're gonna put it to the test. Here we go. Okay, so right down here we have the charger ready to go. This is the end that goes into the OBD2 connector right there. And before we do that, let's just check the clock. So we have the radio station 101.7, 9:32. So now we're gonna connect this right there. And what does that do? It's still on red. Okay. So now what I'm doing is disconnecting the negative on the battery right here. I decided just to take the positive off too. Not a big deal. So it's been several minutes and I'm installing the positive and the negative cables back on the battery. Grab the key, see if it saved the settings, the clock and the radio. Oh yeah, same time, same clock. 9:38, 101.7. Nice. And there it is, maintaining. So I definitely think this could come in handy for several things. Another thing I was thinking, besides like parking at the airport for a long time, maybe you have a company vehicle that only gets driven once in a great while. This might be really handy to just keep it topped off. Let's say you only drive the vehicle every 2 to 3 weeks. This is something I think would work well for that. So I don't really have a way to test it to show you how that works, but you'll have to check some of the reviews and ratings on this. I'll provide some links down below to Amazon and the Home Depot, which are rarely highly rated. And this also, I didn't mention before, but this is an award-winning item right here, this design. And I'm glad I was able to put this to the test right here, the DeWalt Jumpster. So this definitely passed with flying colors on everything that I needed to do. And this is actually something that I gave to my son when he drove his car up to college. Right now he doesn't have his car there, so we brought it back here. But it's definitely handy. There was a time that When we were taking them up there, the one vehicle, the tire was down about 5 PSI. So it's nice having this handy in the trunk. We could just take it out and go ahead and top that tire up. So please let me know down below what you think of these two items right here. Would they be handy for you? So if you're interested in seeing some auto reviews, please consider subscribing down below. And then I also have a playlist right here of some automotive items that I think might be of interest to you. That's it for now, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.